Okay guys, this is our video for doing site backup and upgrades on Windows. Okay, now as you guys remember, I have to run Windows in a virtual machine on my Mac, and that takes a lot of processing power from my computer. So sometimes this may be a little janky, and some of the way things are rendered might not look the greatest, but sorry about that. It is the best I can do. I don't really have a Windows computer I can do this with, so this is the best we get. All right, so here is my machine. I just started it. Nothing is going. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my XAMPP shortcut to get XAMPP going. So I double click on that, and I get my little window, and I am going to start Apache, and I'm going to start MySQL. Okay. Uh, this is interesting. XAMPP is much more kind of nerdy tech focused than MAMP. MAMP doesn't show you things like what this does. So for instance, we have the PIDs, which is your process ID. It's the process number that's assigned by the operating system. And here are the ports that you're running on. So Apache is listening on port 80 for HTTP and on port 443 for HTTPS. Okay, now let me open my browser and go to my website. HTTP localhost WordPress. Okay, and that should load up my WordPress site. And like I told you, see, this is the reason this is so slow is because we're running this in a computer inside my computer. I heard you like computers, so I put a computer in your computer. Here it is. Now I need to be logged in, so the quickest way I usually do this is just go to WP admin, and I hit enter, and I have to be logged in to go to that page, so it gives it to me. Website user, password. Okay, and so here's my dashboard. I have 6 updates, which includes this one to this newer version of WordPress. So if I click on updates, I go to the update page and I see what the other ones are. One is for Kismet and the other are the themes. Now, I think I mentioned this before, but again, if I haven't, the reason we made a child theme, one of the reasons we made a child theme for 2020 is 2020 is getting an update, just like here. It's going from version 1.0 to 1.2. If we had just taken the 2020 theme and modified it by changing the files, when we run this update, our changes would get wiped out because new files would replace our files and our changes would be lost. When we do a child theme, our child theme gets left alone, but 2020 takes its place. Okay. When I do updates, a big WordPress update, usually first I do my other small stuff. But today what we're going to do, since we are doing a big update, is we're going to back up, which it gives you a note about it right here. It says, before updating, please back up your database and files. The two things that make a site, files and the database. Okay? We're going to get them both. Now, where are our files? Let's do those first because they're the easiest. We open File Explorer, clicked on it. Then I need to go to my local disk, XAMPP, which I'm going to double click on. Okay, htdocs, I'll double click on that. Here's my WordPress folder. This is really easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on WordPress and I'm going to say copy. Then I'm just going to click down here and I'm going to right click and I'm going to say paste. And it's going to make a new folder. Holy cow. It's going to take forever. Ay caramba. Okay, at least it's speeding up a little bit. Look, ooh, details. Which probably showing the details makes it go slower, right? because now the computer has to do the work to display this to me. So I'm going to collapse that back up. Oh, this goes a lot faster. If this was my computer was only a Windows computer, probably this would go faster. Um, and when I do it on my Mac natively, it goes a lot faster. It's just, again, it's the emulation that's causing this stuff to be so slow. Okay, now in the real world, I would take this copy and, well, I would do the next thing I'm going to do with it, which is compress it, and then I would download it because my web host would be some other computer, and I would want to have these saved somewhere safe. In our case, I'm just going to leave it here because this isn't a real site and it's just running on my local machine. So, all right, here we go. We're almost there. Yay. 100 percentage. And there it is. WordPress copy. Now, oh yeah, folders don't show you size. But if I right click and I say properties, I see that this has 46.1 megabytes. And then I'm going to right click it again and I'm going to say, is it send to? Yep, compressed zipped folder. And this is taking this is taking a little bit too. This is funny. Anyway, uh, holy 45. Ah, we're all gonna die of old age before this is over. Sorry about this. I mean, yeah, there's nothing else I can do. This is what I would do if I was doing this for real. And with big sites, it can take a long time. Under normal circumstances, I don't think this would. Oh, look, it went up. But the bar is moving way faster. Like, oh, there's nothing worse than computer operating systems when they estimate how long things will take. The algorithms that do that just usually are so poor. Anyway, there we go. Now we're back to just plain old 45, which is what it was when it was here, right? Like the logic is lacking. Okay, so we just have to hang tight. But what we'll see is I don't remember what the folder was. It was like 40 or 50 meg or something. Okay, and we'll see that the zipped file should be substantially smaller, uh, just because most of the stuff inside there is text, and text compresses very nicely. All right, here we go. Well, that was weird. Okay, it went to 13 meg, so quite a bit smaller. Once I have that zipped, I don't really need the folder anymore because, so I'm going to delete it because I have a zip file of it. Okay, good. Now my files are backed up. Great. But what was the second part? The second part was database. So I need to do my database. Now for us, the database, I'm pretty sure I don't mess with XAMPP a lot. Pretty sure it's going to happen here. And I think it happens here. So I think you go to the MySQL row. You go to the admin button. Let's find out when I push it what happens. Yay! PHP my admin. That's what I wanted. Okay, this is going to open. This is the software we use to talk to our databases and work with them. And here we have the databases that exist inside mine. Website DB is the database for my website. So I'm going to click on that to go into it. And by default, it takes me to the structure tab, which shows me the tables that are in there. And I think there are more tables than 12. My guess is maybe that it just limits. Maybe not. That doesn't seem right. I feel like there's more, but well, let's look. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe there's just 12. All right, but anyway, now I want to go over to export. So I click on the export tab. This is where I can export my database. Now, databases use something called the structured query language. People say that SQL or SQL, both are correct. Mostly I want the quick options, but there is one I need from custom. So I'm going to click on custom and it's going to give me a bunch of stuff. But the thing I want, oh, Oh, this is fascinating. Okay, so on my Mac, this was different. On here, the default is save output to a file, which is what I want. So I think I can go back to quick. So if I say quick, I want it in a SQL format. I want it to save to a file. So I hit go. It should start downloading a file. And it does. Yay. All right. Let's show this in the folder. So it's in my downloads folder. It's called website. It's 520 kilobytes. Again, it's all text. There's nothing but text in here. So if I send this to compressed zip folder, that's weird. Wonder why it doesn't just do it as a file. It won't matter. Yeah, sure. Call it website db.zip and 140 kilobytes. So it dropped it by 380 kilobytes. So quite a good size. Because like I said, like if I open this, open with, oh, actually, no. What happens? Let's see. I hit escape. Let's open with VS Code, and you'll see that this is what it is. It's all these text commands inside. Blah 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 blah. All right. Oh look, all this fun stuff here. All right. Point is, that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna close that back up. Now I have backed up my database. I've backed up my files. If this was a real website I was really concerned with, I would save this zip file somewhere safe. I would save the zip file of all my files. And now I can come back here and I can do my updates. And like I said, first I would do my plugins. So you just check it and you say update. And it will run its little process. Did I not click it? Oh yeah, it's going. It has to download it, unzip it, and apply the file changes to the file system. It says it went successfully. I can go back to the plugins page, which I wasn't actually at. It just will do this generically, but I want to go back to the updates page. So I click on return to WordPress updates page. I want to do all my themes. So update those themes. It tells me this is the first one of 4, the second one of 4, the third one of 4, and then 2020 is the last, the fourth of the 4. And it's done. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the updates page. Everything is up to date except WordPress itself. Okay, I did the backups. I've updated everything. I'm going to say update now. This is going to download all the WordPress files and install the newest version of WordPress over my old version. So it's going to take a little bit more time probably than the first things we did. Oh, I'm going to close this because this is just my download list. Okay, so it's working. I really underestimated how much slower this would be. But like I said, I knew it would be. Alright, so it's downloading it. It is unpacking it, so it's unzipping it because it was compressed, because again, it was almost entirely text with probably a few images. And text compresses really, really well. There's something about the interface between this virtual machine and my hard drive that's just really slow. Because my machine is not, yeah, it shouldn't be like this, but it's okay. If you've been following along and doing this, which I would like you to do with your site, is do all the steps I just did. You can go back if you need to. But for you, I'm assuming it will probably go faster than it's going for me. So, and that's because of this weird situation I have. I don't know why, like whenever I redo, like I have to rehide these all the time. These are little extensions. Hide. little Chrome extensions I have, but I don't need to see them all the time. But every time I set up a new Chrome, I have to rehide them. All right, fatal error, awesome, because it took too long. Oh man, let's see what happens now. The site is still fine. I don't think anything got overwritten. Okay, so here's what I recommend. Uh, for you, you should not have a problem. You should be able to do this. It should run through the steps. The other update's going. Okay. So, uh, yeah, and it should work. The reason it didn't work for me is because of this hokey setup that I have, which is a little frustrating. Uh, there are ways to do this in a more manual fashion, but I don't want to mess with them right now. Okay? If you have a problem and yours fails, let me know. Yours should get to a point where it says it's done. Then basically you go back and look at your site and it should be fine. Okay? But if you have problems or questions, shoot me an email, of course, like always, or a message. All right, that's how to do this on Windows. Um, I look forward to talking to you guys all next week. I hope you're doing well. Thanks.